strange situation here where we're just kind of staring off with our partner with our hands up, with no sort of intention to either separate or to strike. So a decision has to be made here. Striking Kendo has 3 main parts, all right? A beginning, a middle, and an end, all right? And I'm being brutal because you asked me to be, all right? And I'm doing it for your benefit, all right? So don't be mad at me. Hi folks, it's Andy. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to this episode of Kendo Video Feedback. In these videos, basically what I do is I take footage that you wonderful channel viewers have sent in to me. We watch it together. I give you some feedback and hopefully everybody learns something. We're going to jump to the video in just a second. We've just got one submission to go at today. Before we do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You know the YouTube magic. Leave a comment down below. Whether you're watching this on YouTube, in fact, you'll only be watching this on YouTube, I guess. But wherever you're watching this, leave a comment, all right? Using the word Kendo and help us grow the Kendo population. That's how it works, all right? More importantly, though, if you like the channel, if you like the shows that I put out, whether it's these feedback videos, whether it is the Q&A videos that I do via Kendo Rant, whether it's the instructional videos, we've got Tip of the Week. All right, we've been doing Tip of the Week recently where I've been giving you a small bite-sized tip. We did Suriage Men this week, and it's been a super popular video. Go and watch it if you've not seen it. If you like all that stuff, it's all free. It's all completely free. There's no subscriptions, no memberships, no charging you for subtitles, no different websites you have to log into, giving you card credentials, all that sort of stuff. Nothing like that. You just watch it for free here on YouTube, all right? And the way to support it, all you've got to do is proper win-win. Shop at KendoStar.com. KendoStar is the best Kendo equipment website in the history and future of the human race. Now, of course, I would say that because I own the place, but everyone agrees with me, all right? We're the best at what we do. That's KendoStar.com. Okay, let's get to this video. So, you may have noticed that the setup today is a little bit different. That's because the video that has been sent in, it's 2 videos, one from the same person. And you can see that the text on this side of the screen, is all cut off. I'll read what it says in a minute, but basically the video that's been sent is kind of a upright format, so I thought it'd be a bit better to do it in this direction. Let me read the email first. It says, hi Sensei, these are my 2 Nidan gradings. They're about a year and a half apart. I was struggling with a lot of foot pain in the first attempt. It's something I developed after gaining weight. In my second attempt, I addressed my limitations to a degree, so I passed. I think it'd be very beneficial for myself and your viewers if you could pick apart the differences between the 2 attempts and all the reasons why the first failed and the second passed. You can skip this, but some background. Okay, well, I've said it now, so I'm not going to skip it. I've been doing Kendo for 19 years, but was not consistent for the first 8. I started Kendo Club in Saudi Arabia in 2006 with my sensei at the time, and then he left 2 years later, and I was teaching there for 6 years before I took a break. I put the club on hiatus. I got back into Kendo 5 years after that, after I moved back to the UK, and it's been challenging. I realised how many bad habits I had baked into my practice thanks to observations of my senseis and dojo mates. I passed Shodan and Q easily right after COVID restrictions were lifted, but my first Nidan attempt saw a marked worsening in my Kendo due to an inability to cope with the new pain symptoms mentioned above. I took time away and sorted my body out before resuming practice and passing Nidan. Anyway, the video speaks for itself. Please be brutal in your assessment. I can take it. P.S. I bought a super large gi on sale and a koto shinai at the Kendo seminar in 2022, and I still enjoy them today. Excellent stuff. Thank you very much. Okay, so the text on the screen that's cut off, it says 2 Kendo Nidan exams. The video shows a failed attempt followed by a successful attempt by the same person. All right, so let's have a look. It's a 5-minute video. Let me check I've got all the sound settings working. Let's have a look. All right. Okay, so I can set this. So first is the failed Nidan. This is the Jitsuki. You're starting on the left with a red pedigree. Okay, so let me just pause there for a second so I can reframe the video slightly so that we can make sure we see everything. We don't need all of that ceiling up at the top, do we? We're better with an angle like this, I think. All right. Okay, so let me skip back. All right, let's have a look. Let me double check that that's going to work all right. Okay, so you're this player here. Okay, and this is a failed attempt, right? Okay. So we've not made any datotsu yet, okay? Not made any strikes yet. Okay, and then we have this sort of weird thing going on here. Like this thing here, there's like what's going on? You know? All right. And I know we've talked about injuries, all right? So I don't want to press on it too much, but obviously like there's a clear like lacking in terms of the footwork here. Your left foot's pointed entirely out to the left. And yeah, you've kind of you've put yourself in this weird odd position that doesn't seem to mean anything. But in terms of Waza, we've not made anything yet. What did we do? We did a strike to the men. Strike to the men. What next? A strike to the kote, another strike to the men. Another strike to the men. I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing is here is I understand you're injured at this point, all right? So, I know, you know, and I'm criticising this particularly because it's a failed attempt, but, you know, your lower body's not engaged at all with what you're doing. You're just kind of flailing out with your upper body, and to be honest, the technique of the swings with the upper body is not great either. So even if, you know, you were to make contact, it's not going to be a great strike. It's just very much this sort of thing. So there's you know, severe, excuse me, technical issues here. And then yeah, we end up in this sort of weird situation where it's like you're gonna hit, you're not gonna hit. Like what's going on? You can see the position of your foot clearly flat on the floor and left facing out to the left. So your strikes obviously aren't delivered with any sort of semblance of Fumikomi. Just bashing out. Suppose this was sort of a Waza, right? I guess it sort of hit. Did it hit? Not really close to the criteria of Yuko Datotsu though, is it? You know, like a valid strike, so probably gonna struggle a bit. Lots of your strikes have proceeded with this footwork where you kind of do this with your feet, which is kind of not correct, is it? Okay. And then we find ourselves in this kind of weird, strange situation here where we're just kind of staring off with our partner with our hands up, with no sort of intention to either separate or to strike. So a decision has to be made here. Okay, so here, right, there's this sort of few seconds here where nothing's going on, right? And it's not like semi, it's just waiting. It's just waiting, and then your opponent does the semi to you, and then you have to switch back on to react, and of course you're too late. And then a strike's delivered, but has 0 zanshin. Yeah? Just hit and then stand there like this. So there's no kime or zanshin, okay, to make the strike hit bomb, okay? So this is a, you know, I'm sorry to say, but yeah, this is a clear unsuccessful Nidan attempt. I would have to agree with the panel on this one. I don't want to dwell on it too much because I think it's more constructive for us to look at the successful one, okay, and go from there and see what needs to happen going forward. So in the UK, we do Kiri-kaeshi as part of the Dan exams up to 3rd Dan. So you've included that here as well. So let's have a look at your Kiri-kaeshi because I can tell quite a lot from that. So So on the left side here. The attacker. Alright, so first off, your Sonkyo could be improved, right? Your Sonkyo could be improved. I'm going to readjust the video again just to, because we've got a lot of floor space in the front here. Your Sonkyo could be improved, right? You're leaning forward very much here. Okay, you have to be. Your shoulders and head should be over your hips, not with your backside sticking out like that. Okay. Okay, so the first strike, sort of all right, but again, sorry, I've got a proper frog in my throat today. But again, we've got this kind of weird crossing footwork before we go. Bam, bam, like that. So there's a question mark for me there. Probably Nidan, I'd probably let you off, but I'd definitely fail you for Sandan if you did that. Okay. So what's happening, right, is you're stepping through on the left here, and then when you do your humikomi, it's not a launch off your left leg. You're not like launching forward off your left leg. You're like almost just stamping on the spot. As you can see that there's not much ground made here. All right, there's not much ground made. Okay. This aspect of Kiri-kaeshi is fine, especially for me. It's fine. I don't have an issue with that. My issue is with the Fumikomi section. And that's the main thing I look at. It's not actually. It's not. The Sayu energy is also important. So. Okay, so here's your first Jitsugi. This is a successful one. And so we're a year and a half down the line now from the last video. Okay, so let's have it. Okay, so first I want to think about your kama. Your hips need to go back a little bit because you're carrying the weight of your shinai on your hips by putting them forward, which is why you make this kind of S shape like that. All right. If you push your hips back a little bit more, then you'll use your arms more effectively to carry the weight of the shinai. So again, right. Okay, this is right. We're off to a better start, okay? Because we make a strike. Okay, so fine. Okay, but my issue here is what happens after the strike. You hit, and then there's no zanshin or kime. You just kind of, and part of the problem is because your humikomi is quite like weak. You know, it's not really humikomi, is it? You know, wait, I might have gone too far. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, it is, but it's that like I said. See how far your left foot's turned out like this. And then your fumikomi is like really small and not launching forward in any way. So it's not really engaged. It's not really doing the job of fumikomi. It's not transferring any of your body weight to your shinai. It's just taking a step forward. And then the left foot obviously draws up quite slowly because you've not really pushed off from there. And then the issue is then everything just stops here. Ma'am, stop. There's no zanshin, no kime. Okay. This can't be a Yuko Datotsu, all right? It's a shame because you made the good timing for the strike, you know. So yeah, we'll leave it. Okay, so here again, and we made this kind of kote men strike attempt. We receive a men strike. I like the engagement, all right? And this is definitely a good thing, yeah, that you continue to engage. And it's not as kind of rushed as this previous attempt was, all right? So it's definitely better in that regard. But again, we have the same thing here with this men strike. I know it didn't hit, but like, you know, I'm not saying you should go and try and do the massive kime on it, but it's super undynamic here. You're just kind of stepping forward and then stopping. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I think this is a kote strike. Okay, so you make a kote strike, but again, no zanshin. When you hit kote, okay, you make a good kote strike here. It's an excellent kote strike, right? But then, for some reason, you pull your hands back like this. All right? After hitting kote, the shinai should stay in front of you. Bam, this way. You can either let it go a little bit to the left, or you can go straight. But what you're doing is you're pulling it back this way. All right? So you're going from an attacking position to a defensive position immediately, even after striking a clear ippon. All right? And then there's no semblance of the remainder of the strike. Okay? A strike in Kendo has 3 main parts. All right? A beginning, a middle, and an end. All right? So the beginning is your kamae. Yeah? Your footwork, which is part of your kamae, of course. Your approach, your seme, your creation of the opportunity. And as you go up in higher levels, this also includes things like sen, taking sen, or sasoi, getting them to strike, these sort of things, okay? Also, it can include physical elements, harai, yeah, osae, these sort of things, all right? This is the beginning, right? Then creating opportunity, and then the middle is the hit, all right? And the middle, the hit, is the result of the beginning, okay? It's the result of that, yeah? So that has to be right so that the strike can connect. Of course, sometimes you get lucky hits, but, you know, then you make the strike, and that has to have the humikomi, the humikiri, launching from the left leg, connecting with the target with the right part of the shinai, good power and sharpness, tsuyosa to sae, yeah, tenouchi, yeah, and then is the end, yeah, the zanshin, yeah, migamae, kigamae, okay, so man, kote, then migamae, of the body. It doesn't necessarily mean an actual kamae. It means that your body is in a position that is able to react, okay? And kigamae, the kamae of the spirit, all right? And then kime is the bit that it's the bit that's slightly before. I guess that's part of the end, actually. It's part of the end, but it connects the middle to the end, all right? Those 3 parts are essential, all right? They're essential, okay? And we're missing that last one, okay? So for Nidan, obviously, you managed to get away with it, but for Sandan, if you don't have this, you're not going to get through the test, okay? Okay, so we've hooked, it looks like we just hooked the shinai under the tsuba, the tsuru, sorry. Okay, so this is a bit better, all right? This is a bit better. So we can do it, right? We can do it. We have a hit, a turn, and a kamae, all right? So we can do it, right? More your strikes have to look like this, all right? Now, if we're going to start nitpicking, as if I haven't done so enough, because your left foot is turned out, when you hit, your hips open this way, and then you make this weird, like, this isn't right, is it? You know what I mean? This kind of posture, all right? You easily be pushed off balance by somebody. Yeah. So I want you to do more mitori geiko. Look at the high-level players in Japan, see what their kendo looks like. Try to make your kendo look more like that, okay? Especially on this point. Okay, so this is the first time I saw you try to do ojiwaza. Okay, which is good. Okay, it's good that you tried to do it. The ojiwaza itself is not good, but the attempt to do it is good. All right, because a nidan, I really want to see now that you can do more than just hit men and kote. It doesn't mean that you have to hit do. You can hit do or ski, but don't start doing ski in nidan exam. It's not going to help you. But I want to see that you know more than just men strikes and kote strikes in a basic sense, yeah? You can apply different waza. But you need to improve the quality of it, okay? If you want to get through Sandan, okay? Yeah? See, the completely one-handed strike, yeah? Completely one-handed strike and just stepping off to the side. So again, no kime, no zanshin, okay? Kaisho nukido is receive, strike, bam, this way, and then forward, run forward, turn around, come on, okay? Not just da-da, like this on the spot, okay? Especially in this kind of situation. Okay, so that's the first one. Here you are receiving the Kiri-kaeshi. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay, it's fine. Let's watch you do it. Okay, so right-hand side now. You're good. You have good ki. Very good ki, okay? I want to see more of it. Continue through the waza from the beginning, middle, end, okay? It must be tiny on the screen. Okay, so this isn't going so well so far, right? We've received 2 datos already. Okay, now what happened here, right, is you went for kote, which wasn't a bad shout. Now they've tried to do some sort of nuki waza, but because your humikomi and your striking isn't dynamic, it's very stiff. So you're kind of stomping out just with the right foot and swinging the shinai like this. It's easy to get sort of stuck, which is what happens here, right? Whereas if you're a bit more dynamic, especially using the left leg to do your fumikiri, bam, this way, even if you miss, you're going to be in a better position after the strike. Okay, you're not going to find yourself caught up like this where you have to pull the shinai out so often. You never know. Okay, we've got this waiting again. All right, okay, so good. I like that you tried to use a different waza again. All right, you've seen that kaishido again. Fine, it's okay. All right, but I want you to improve the quality of that strike now. All right, because now when you go for your sandan, all right, you've not only got to show that you can execute different waza, but you have to show that you can execute waza to the level that meets the standard of you kodatotsu, and this do, frankly, isn't good enough. Okay, it frankly isn't good enough. Okay, because you're making the good strike, fine, but then you're sort of hitting this way, and then like you're kind of crabbing around, turning this sort of way with them. That's not how we do the door strike, the kaeshi door strike. Not in a simplistic and basic level. In any case, there are of course other ways to do it, but this isn't any of those. Okay, so bam, bam, strike the door this way, bam, this way, and then they should be facing like this way. You've come off to the side slightly, your hips are facing forward, and then you go forward past them, and then turn around. All right. Again, Mitori Geiko is your friend here, okay? Mitori Geiko, you need to watch more high-level players and try to make your kendo look more like this, okay? Okay, here we can see your kote strike is quite good, but your left leg just stays where it is, okay? So this isn't correct, is it? All right, this isn't correct. All right, you have to push from your left leg, and your left foot has to come up with your right foot. All right, and because of that, you can't do any sort of your zanshin cannot continue to the end of the strike. So you're getting lots of this sort of situation where there's this kind of strange, you know, like distance between the two of you, and then this weird, like, is something happening? Is something not happening? Sort of situation, scenario. Okay, and there we go. All right, so there it is. Okay, there's the end of it. Okay, look, you asked me to be brutal with you, so I have been. All right, I have been. Your second attempt was clearly better than the first one, and that's why you passed, all right? I can see why you passed, all right? I can see why you passed. I want the best for you, okay? I want the best for your improvement, and I want you to do Kendo that you're not only happy with, but is successful for you, okay? There's several improvements you need to make for that to happen, okay? I can understand why this was a successful second dan attempt and the first attempt was not. However, and I'm being brutal because you asked me to be, all right? And I'm doing it for your benefit, all right? So don't be mad at me, yeah? But if we're being honest and objective, I would be somewhat surprised if the entire panel all passed you there, all right? In other words, I think we could describe it as something of a borderline pass. So it still needs quite a lot of technical improvement, all right? Now, that's not a problem because you passed, great, okay, good. But now you've got 2 years to get that, what we talked about, sharpened up. You need to sharpen up your footwork, sharpen up the quality of your technique, all right? You must engage in more Mitori Geiko. And when I say Mitori Geiko, I'm not talking about watching the All Japans on YouTube, right? And this is really important, all right? I cannot stress enough how important Mitori Geiko is for all of us. All right? And Mitori Geiko is not just popping the All Japan Championships on YouTube and applauding the fantastic techniques that those wonderful players show us. Oh, wow, what a great man. That was amazing. So brilliant. Wow. Right? It's more than that. All right? Yes, that is amazing. Yes, it's worthy of our applause and respect. Okay? But what we have to do is we have to endeavor to bring our Kendo closer to those fantastic examples. Now, that's not necessarily appropriate for everybody, all right? It's not necessarily appropriate for everybody. I get that, okay? There's different factors in terms of, the level that you're at, perhaps, and particularly your age, all right? There's no point, if you're in your sort of 60s or 70s, there's no point looking at a sort of 25-year-old in the All Japan Championships and going, I'm going to copy that necessarily. But it doesn't mean that there aren't aspects that you can't take from it and learn from it and incorporate into your own Kendo, all right? But there's all sorts of other stuff. You watch All Japan 8 Dan Championships on YouTube. You can watch the Kyoto Taikai on YouTube, all right? That's a great one to watch, yeah? And you can take a lot from those things. And you have to try to watch, absorb, copy, and repeat, okay? I'm going to say it again. It's watch, absorb, copy, and repeat. And then there's one more secret ingredient, and it's called review. Review, all right? I film almost every single Kendo practice that I do of my own, okay? I film it all for my own review, just for my own study, okay? I sit there and I watch it as soon as possible after Keiko, whether it's the same day or the next day, but I get it straight on my computer and I analyze it and I look at it and I'm honest with myself. Is this what I want? What do I need to improve? And I'm not like, and you can't be like this, right? Oh, I hate watching my own Kendo. I hate it, so I'm not going to do it, right? Well, then you're not going to get any better, all right? I hate doing Hayasubiri, right? I hate doing Hayasubiri, all right? I don't particularly like doing Kakari Geiko, all right? But we have to do it if we want to get better, all right? So you can't just bin it off as something you don't like, all right? It's super important, and I can't stress it enough. And for you that sent this in, I think it's really going to be a big benefit for you, all right? But not just you, everybody, or every single one of you watching out there, all right? You need to do Mitori Geiko, and you need to do it effectively, all right? And don't just, like I say, when you review, don't just bash yourself. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that's so bad. You know, you have to look and be honest. Okay. Oh, this part was okay. This part was not. I need to do better. Okay. I need to improve this more like this. I'd rather my Kendo looked more in this way rather than this way. Okay. Right. Well, let's work on it. Not, oh, I'm so bad. You know, don't turn it emotional. Yeah. Let's keep it as to a learning exercise. All right. It's not easy. I get it. And there we go. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for sending in this video. Congratulations for passing your grade. And let's take on those points, though. Let's get you through your third Dan, all right? You definitely can do it. If anyone else would like to send a video in for feedback, all you have to do is upload it to YouTube, set it as unlisted or public, if you don't care about other people seeing it. If you send it as unlisted, then only I can see it, or anyone you send the link to can see it. Do not set it to private. If you send it to private, I will not be able to open it, okay? Email it to me at mail@kendostar.com. Give me some information about what the video is about, which one you are, what it is it Shiai, is it a grading, what's it a grading for, what kind of Shiai is it, stuff like that, and I will cover it on the show. And there we go. Thank you for joining me today. Shop at KendoStar. See you next time. Bye-bye.